That's on you.
We're back, man.
It has been a long time since we've done one of these.
It has been a long time, my friend.
The last sip you got in there?
Yes, sir. I'm going to have to crack another one.
I guess so.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for doing this, man.
For sure.
Episode 2.
Of the real deal.
The real deal.
The real deal.
Not the let's sit in the room and fucking talk and never put anything out deal. Yeah, man. Finally pulled the trigger on it. I'm pretty stoked about it. But
I like the setup.
Not too bad, right?
Definitely.
So I'm actually kind of a little stuck on the name. So I like close quarters because obviously, you know what I mean? We're in close quarters, and it's going to be kind of like an interview kind of setting for a while, but like
if you expand, like if this thing ends up taking off, you know, you could be like a niche, like that could be your thing.
No, that's
like,
what I was thinking. Yeah,
from
like
here on out, you're just
it's
like
always like what's
doing
up?
Celebrity interviews like this close.
I'm writing your shit, bro.
I'll back this thing up.
But yeah, that's what I came up with for now. I like the idea of alive and thriving, but
run two, bro.
You know what I mean? I think I'm gonna
run an interview one, and then run something maybe like.
I think that'll be if I do like a live version. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's like mainly what I was thinking.
That's what your tour would be called.
Alive and Thriving.
Yeah, the Alive and Thriving tour.
But yeah, man, episode 2, we're in here. It's cool, and hopefully it sounds a lot better than the first one, but...
Yeah, we got that figured out.
Yeah, that's also half of why I wanted to get you in here was because I was like, you know what, I just don't know anything about this.
Gotta get everything set up.
For the people that don't understand, Adam produces music, and so... not just produces music, you do the whole fucking nine, bro.
I'm going for the whole thing. The producer, engineer, master. I don't know if I'll actually like fully be quote unquote a master engineer.
Yeah, but
I can
have the skills
to do it. I can
master
somebody's music. I can make it sound good enough. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. Like right before this thing even came on, like monitoring this Focusrite. That's something I learned or had to learn. Like you don't want to adjust volumes too much. Causes ear fatigue. Like if you're turning it up and turning it down, having your ears like having to adjust to the volume levels and stuff. Dude, I literally sometimes leave the studio and my ears, the inside of my ears hurt.
They feel weird, probably.
They like feel fatigued.
Will you put on music at all, like when you're trying to drive?
No,
home?
I won't even. No.
You don't even probably listen to shit in the car.
I have recently, only because of the fact that I wanted to learn how to mix better. So using reference tracks is a really, really good way to you listen to something that you like to listen to and then try to emulate that sound kind of deal. So a lot more recently I've been listening to music, but that's also because there's been a good drought on like good hip hop too.
Big time, dude.
Not like,
that there hasn't been good music coming out.
Here and there's a good projects, but
there hasn't been that project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you're like, I can't stop playing this. For me, Man on the Moon 3 was that for a while. Still is, but I also started to realize I was overplaying it, and I didn't want to get sick of it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I just really like that psychedelic.
I do like it. I just don't think.
But you're like a true rap.
Yeah,
you
that's
love
true.
The bars. You love
like,
the
you
OG,
don't even know,
like the pureness of the music. Yeah.
I bet you don't even know the name Benny the Butcher or Boldy James.
Nah.
Two of my favorite rappers right now.
Nice.
Those guys are awesome. But they talk about like it's like murder crack rap kind of deal, like their situation. So I don't know. I like that real shit. I understand. Like I had that Don Toliver on that Jack Boys project. Had Enough.
Yeah. So good.
That song is heat.
Dude, he's something special. He's just getting started, dude. Yeah. I
didn't give him enough credit, but now I definitely fuck with his voice.
You also gotta realize
it's so good.
It's so good. I get a little sick of it
production
sometimes.
value.
Yeah, the production value. Oh my god.
It's awesome.
It's just long story short, music is fucking just too good right now. Yeah. Not saying that like the good projects are coming out. You haven't had those like banger projects, but like I'm telling you, with all these guys in quarantine.
Soon we got J. Cole. Soon we got Kendrick. Soon we got Joey. Travis. They're I was looking at recently. There's been a lot of surfacing content about like early 2010 to 2015, the amount of like really good music and artists that came out through that era. And then now the heads that kind of lived in that era or really appreciated that era have gone through the auto-tune shit. Now it's kind of making that wave of
purity,
like a small morph between the beat influences and vocal engineering that
it's coming
trap
together.
has come into with the true hip-hop. It's kind of like blending in with these like big-time artists. I think those projects are going to be super fucking dope.
These early 2020 albums
are going to be like the 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
Also the like 2015, 2016. Those two sets of years where we had like Rocky, Joey, Cole, Kendrick, all those guys drop major bombs. Drake even you can throw into that because he never misses. You know, his recent song has already gone gold.
I don't even care,
like
bro.
Week.
Like I
his
listen.
shit sold 500,000. He sold 500,000 records in a week.
Listen, this is how I feel about Drake. The guy, I cannot listen to his music. I don't give a fuck about it.
The dude
but
makes
the
millions.
Respect, I have all the respect in the world for that guy.
I know.
He is legit.
I don't listen to him a lot either.
He's as good as everybody says he is.
Yeah.
I just don't like him.
Agreed.
But I respect him. Bro, numbers don't lie. When you sell like that,
everybody, it's almost even more. It's more relevant than. I say Kendrick only because Drake's name is quite a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Like internationally, even I bet. Like even when
Drake's bigger, in my personal opinion.
When Drake drops a song, the whole world goes silent.
Kendrick
like, everybody's got to listen to this. You know?
I think Kendrick's underappreciated, and I think he always will be. But whenever he drops, everyone's like, "Oh yeah,
that's the same thing." It's the
Kendrick's
whole world stops.
Good.
Cole, whole world stops just to like listen to what these guys have to say.
So cool. Crazy, man. I don't know, like I haven't been this excited about music in a long time, and like I say that almost every year I feel like, but like you said, I just feel like all these different sounds, styles are
morphing together.
Yeah. So like rap has always been rap, you know what I mean?
Corday, JID, IDK, all three of those guys probably have projects coming out this year too that are going to slap.
And dude, there's so many people lined up. Did Unlocked 1.5 come out yet?
Yeah, it's out.
I haven't listened to it yet.
All it is it's the same vocal recordings that Kenny and Denzel did. It's remakes or remixes of the beats. So he, instead of Kenny being on every beat, it's like 7 different producers did 7
just
different,
taking the vocal.
and then taking the vocal, making a beat to it, and then adding a feature. Like Joey Badass and Alchemist, that song's
really?
It's not the original at all. If I hadn't heard the original song and I heard that one, I'd probably like that one better because it has Joey and Alchemist. But after like you've heard the original and then you go back and listen to that, you're like, shit's kind of whack. So yeah, I mean, Unlock 1.5 is cool and all. It's a good concept, but it's a little weird.
It's
like
it's probably
it's
also that's a little bit of a disappointment for me because I wanted like bonus tracks basically.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
shit that they did that they didn't release. Yeah, that would have been. See, that's a thing. I like the idea of deluxes.
I don't. I think it's such a fucking money grab. And
it really is.
And it really ruins it for me. I get it 100%.
Yeah,
but they're like, "Oh, here's my album
Here's
again
my album
with 4 more songs."
Yeah, exactly. Here's my album again if you want to purchase it. Have fun.
Who buys albums? Like does that count for like also like if someone buys a vinyl?
Yeah.
That counts?
Yeah,
okay.
so that's a record, a CD, or a digital copy.
Who the
so
fuck's buying digital
people
copies?
still go onto iTunes. Actually,
Why?
DJs, so the way that Serato works is you have to purchase the song in order to use it. So you go onto iTunes, you purchase the song, then you can drag that MP3 into your... So people still buy records to remix and do shit like that. But also...
I've always wondered, like, what's the fucking point of buying an album?
Especially
and
because...
then there's the diehard fans that are like, I'll buy your fucking album.
Right. I mean... Yeah, exactly. Somebody's going to want a physical copy. Like, I don't know. That's why you don't see a whole lot of music. You see a lot more plaques, like gold plaques, say 1 million streams or 10 million streams or whatever, instead of 10 million sold, because really nobody's selling 10 million records anymore, dude. Not like Michael Jackson. Like Michael Jackson selling 10 million records back in the day. That's
so crazy.
Bonkers. That's people purchasing that fucking CD, the physical, the tape, the vinyl, whatever it may be.
Can you imagine if Michael Jackson, let's say he's still alive, getting a feature from that guy right now?
He would
exactly my point.
He probably wouldn't even need to touch music again.
But Drake also on, I think it was what was his last album? I don't even know the name of it. But he had a Michael Jackson feature for like the hook.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I don't even want to know how much money he spent on that.
But you've also seen the video of that dude's house.
Yeah, yeah. He has a fucking plane, dude. Like,
so Drake is a modern day Michael in the fact that, did I ever send you that video of Kenny Beats reacting to Michael Jackson walking around in a multi-million-dollar art,
and he's just like,
yeah, I'll take that one. We also purchased all of these ones, and they're like urns. They're like decorative urns that
for no fucking point,
millions of dollars. He's just like, yeah, I'll take that one and that one. Like, what?
That's what happens when you sell 10 million records, boy.
I think when I'm talking too quiet, like down here, that might not be but whatever.
We'll play with it. No worries.
We're talking about the podcast while we're on the podcast. We're totally fucking it. Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know, man. I'm just blown away by where music is going, and the cool thing about music is like you're so able to share music with people now. You know what I mean? Like before,
it's 2 clicks away. Like boom, boom.
Yeah. So like your playlist is actually kind of a big deal. Like when you get with your friends and you get the Augs,
you gotta put it on.
You gotta put it on, bro. Like you gotta have the heat. You can't fail anymore.
No.
Everyone's gonna be like, dude, turn that shit off. Give me that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You had 3 songs and I can't believe you fucking played that shit.
People took off work to see what you just did.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like we're trying to go snowboarding and that's what you put on? That's a big deal for me. Like the 2-hour drive to and technically 4 hours really. To and from, that's where I get a lot of sharing.
You gotta have music.
You gotta have the heat, especially at 6:30 in the morning when everyone's asleep and you're like, I'm going up Horseshoe Bend fucking road. Which they need to build a tunnel for that fucking thing.
Dude, my truck didn't even make it to Horseshoe Bend Road. Horseshoe Bend Hill the last time I tried to drive to Cascade. On God.
What?
Didn't even make it up the first hill.
You tried to go see your mom?
Yeah. I went to go try to see my mom for Christmas, and the shit like literally got up nearly to the top where you crest and start going down.
Is that when you're having all those problems?
Yeah. Shit like literally wouldn't even make it to the top of the hill. Had to turn around and limp it all the way back to my house.
No, like, you got it all the way home? Bro, that is savage. I don't know how.
Chris and I are like, you know the Cole and Victory Hill? Yeah. Like right there by Idaho Pizza Company?
You just gain speed trying to get through there?
I'm like I'm praying that the fucking light doesn't turn red. Because I need the momentum to get up the hill. It was that bad, man. It was so that bad.
Funny. I love that truck, man. That is a classic. You can't ever get rid of that whip, bro.
I know.
You might have to paint it one day, but
she's not doing too well.
For now.
Yeah, she's hurting. I gotta do some maintenance, but
you could also buy a fucking bunker or a clunker, I should say.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And like just but you can never get rid of that truck.
Burn the shit out of something that I don't even care about.
Yeah.
Dude, if I ended up I'm about to do my taxes. And I spent like $6,000 on the studio last year.
Did you write them?
I'm about to.
Dude, write that shit.
Yeah,
that's
dude, if
fucking awesome.
If I got written a $6,000 check for all the shit I spent on music stuff, immediately I'm getting Robin Hood. Start fucking buying and trading, bro. Day trading. My homie Tyson. My homie Tyson was telling me about this, and I'm really not surprised because he's the most avid Reddit user I know. He's like, yeah, bro, I've been on Wall Street Bets for months. I'm like, you don't say. He's like, yeah, I made like $700 off that GameStop shit. I was like, oh.
I got a buddy. His name's Vincent, and he comes. He's one of my regulars at my stand. I'm gonna get him in here soon. We talk MMA. Nice. Every time he comes through. Shout out to Vincent. We'll get you in here soon, bro.
If you're listening, bro.
Yeah, for real. But what was I even saying? Oh yeah, all he does every single day, his job is stocks. That's all he does, dude. He fucking wakes up,
get this
does
man.
that. He's fucking smart, bro. Like, you can just tell. You know when you talk to somebody and you're like,
he's like, this dude knows what's.
He knows what he's talking about. But like, yeah, he fucking started calling out all that GameStop shit. He came and talked to me that morning, bro. He came through and he's like, bro, shit's going down today. Crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
Stocks are wild, man. They scare me though. It's like betting.
It is gambling.
Until I have
a decent amount of knowledge,
or even a decent amount of money. You know what I mean? Like you want to have some money set back. These people are taking their fucking savings and being like, oh, I can.
We could triple it, but you can fucking lose it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why. Remember when we learned about like the mutual funds, growth stock, mutual shit. Like, that's honestly what I would start with. Yeah. Before I started ever day trading, I would immediately put I'd put a handful of thousands into a growth stock mutual fund and then add let's see, $50 a month to it or something like that until I could afford to put more into it and then more into it and more into it. And then just constantly let that thing just grow. It's not going to do well all the time, but in the long run, this thing is meant to just be like...
Absolutely. Yeah. Stocks are legit.
Right.
And there's a reason why people use them. There's a reason, like... I just think people get a little eager and start spending their money that
they don't know.
You know what I mean?
You gotta do your research first.
Exactly,
man. That's
bro.
exactly what it is.
They get in there and they start fucking playing around.
That's everybody.
One of the homies, I don't want to call him out, but he fucking... you probably know who I'm talking about.
I have a strong feeling.
He literally, bro, is just like, I can't believe I've done that. Like, I think he's made like $70 at a time.
70?
He also said his shit dropped and he was like, pissed, bro. This is the same friend that
I know. Off of that comment, I know exactly who it is. Oh my god.
Yeah, I should say he's balls deep, but like he definitely has played around in that field a little bit.
He's lost too much. I'm sorry, man. That sucks, bro. And I'm talking to you if you're listening.
I love you, man.
I don't know. No, Jonathan's also up like $400 or $500 on some shit. But he could have been up $1,200.
Yeah.
The day he was like watching it soar, he's like, I'm gonna hold on. Then the shit just tanked right back down. So he's like, fuck.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Missed his opportunity. Like, if you don't sell right when you try to, right when you need to, you lose so much money.
Carly, and people get greedy, just like fucking gambling. They're like,
I can win more.
I can
win more.
I'm fucking up. Like I'm on a streak. Pull it. Like that's my thing. When you hit that feeling where you're like, at least for me, where you're like, oh, dude, no, I can get a little bit more.
You're like, you gotta stop.
Bro. Pull that shit.
Yeah.
And then maybe invest again in a couple days. You know, but like fucking pull that shit right then. Sit on it. Like, because Carly invested like $2,000 and was up 13. Lost it.
She didn't lose the initial $2,000 that she invested, obviously. Or
I think she got down to 15.
Okay, and then pulled it back, so she only lost $500.
But still, bro.
Yeah.
To be up that much.
And then, yeah.
That was before she met me.
Dude, I had a homie, too. He betting on football games. Ooh. Almost had his rent paid. And then Ohio State let the other team, because they were already winning by so much, he covered the margin. And then in the last minute and a half, Ohio State let the other team score.
Because they got their fourth string.
They're like, oh yeah, we don't even care, and they
and you're like, ah.
And then he missed he missed it.
That's it.
Because they scored too much, and he's like, I had my fucking rent paid,
dude. Like these guys that bet on fights, man. Like,
yeah, that too. A little outrageous.
Well, especially now, like in the UFC back in the day, you could bet, and even in boxing, you can see a landslide coming. You know what I mean? Like boxing is so fucked up, bro. But in the UFC, these guys are so good now. Anybody can fucking win on any night, dude. Like, you can blatantly see the talent level from when Anderson Silva and George St. Pierre.
Everybody has now kind of beat that or hit that level.
Well, George St. Pierre said it in a interview the other day. He literally was like, the unfortunate truth. He's like, it pains me to say it, but like the athletes of tomorrow are better than the athletes of present and the past. Mm-hmm. Like he's like, sports, you just get better in inches, but he's like. Yeah, bro. If I was trying to fight all these guys right now, I'd probably get some fucking losses. You know, he's like
LeBron James.
Yeah.
Like that man is
a god,
the pinnacle of an athlete.
Tom Brady.
him as well.
Fuck that guy.
I didn't like him for the longest time, but you know what?
The whole world.
Good on him, bro.
No. The whole world, the moment he became a Buccaneer, was like, I'm about it.
Yeah, they're like,
I'm about it.
Tom's cool again.
Everyone hated Tom Brady when he played with the Patriots. And now, well, here's the other thing. Everyone has realized, he took a shit. I shouldn't say shit Buccaneers team. I mean, before he got there.
He took a bad Buccaneers team.
And they just went and won the bowl, baby.
Yeah.
And they beat the
crap out of Kansas
Chiefs.
City.
Who did they play, bro? One of the best football teams we've seen ever. And whooped their ass. One of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. And they just dismantled him the whole fucking game. One of the most boring Super Bowls I've ever seen.
Impressive, though.
Very impressive.
I didn't watch any NFL up until the playoffs. And I watched 2 Buccaneers games. That's all I needed to watch. Yeah. As soon as they were going to the Super Bowl, I was like, no, those guys are winning. They were an oiled machine in the playoffs.
He just knows how to win football games.
That too.
And I don't know what his formula is, but the guy wins fucking football games. And, like, I don't watch the NFL games anymore either. The coolest thing about having YouTube Red, also pay for fucking YouTube Red when you don't. The amount of content you can go through. This is
not an paid advertisement.
Literally, the amount of content you can go through when you don't have any fucking ads. I'm telling you, it's so fucking worth it. Bro, I just go from football game. I watch 9-minute highlights, and I'm like, that was the game. That's all I need to see. I see only the good parts. I'm like, that was sick. Cool, I'm done in 10 minutes. Moving on to the next. These guys sit here watching Red Zone with their dicks in their hands all day, like.
And you're watching UFC highlights.
I'm done. Yeah, it's crazy. Funny. And you can watch free fights. They fucking put free fights on there all the time. One of the things.
YouTube Red? They got free fights on YouTube Red?
Well, I mean, you don't have. YouTube Red is just basically like a part of YouTube. It's not like a different.
I get that. But it's like YouTube TV.
Yeah. It's just like, you don't have any fucking ads, and then I also get to play. I use YouTube Music, which is
also fire.
It's like having Apple Music and SoundCloud put together.
I think Google Play was just bought by YouTube Music. Really? So Google Play and YouTube is owned by Google. So never mind. So YouTube and Google Play are the same thing basically.
Yeah.
They also pay the most out for streams.
Really?
They're the highest payers. The only other service is called Loom, and nobody uses it right now. Or like a very small group.
That's probably why they pay fat.
Yeah, small group of artists actually use Loom, but Loom's pretty tight. I haven't used it yet because I don't have any music to put on it yet. I've been waiting to put Ashes to Ashes on it, March 16th.
March
26th.
Let's get into that in 2 seconds. But what was it? Oh yeah. So the one thing I was wondering about is putting it on different streaming services. Is that a bitch? That's the only thing.
There's a service called DistroKid, and DistroKid allows you to choose what 128 streaming services you put your music on. There's so many, bro. There's so many random ones that you've never even heard of. Yeah, you can literally go onto DistroKid and pick click through boxes and boxes and boxes of shit. So
sick.
You could have this podcast on Spotify. You could have this
podcast
on
Apple Music. I just need to figure out how to put
all it takes is a DistroKid account.
Okay, cool.
And I think DistroKid only costs like fucking $20 a month or something like that. Not even that expensive. But yeah, Ashes to Ashes, March 26th. You think people can
hear that?
Probably.
No, you're good. But yeah, Ashes to Ashes. Let's talk about that. That's why we're really here. First and foremost, I gotta say, man. So this is Adam's album that he's explain your group, I guess.
Late Bloomer. So I'm the producer, and then we have Jonathan Tiravepi and Jeremiah Mitchell, and those guys kind of form the group of Late Bloomer. Jeremiah originally started it like 5 years ago.
He was Late Bloomer.
Yeah, he was Late Bloomer independently, and then once I started making music with him about 2 years ago, we kind of just all formed a group together. So yeah, our second album we've been working on since we basically released 86 The Menu last April.
And some of the songs you had before then.
Yeah,
just a few, but
we have 4 songs that we recorded in the process of coming up with the 86 The Menu EP, which honestly, those songs even turned out better than I expected, because I made those beats so long ago, and I couldn't manipulate them because they also used a different DAW at the time, so I couldn't go back and like manipulate them. So they sound, I don't know how I got it to sound the way it does, like, but I was really impressed. I don't know why that all worked out.
No, it sounds great, and like things work out when it's right, man.
I guess so, yeah. Like saving those specific songs, like the songs that we did save and that we have made. This is like a 2-year album, basically. Like in the process, we're taking the bonus track, Paradise, is the very first song we ever made together, like 2 years ago in February. And Chasing the Dragon we made nearly 2 years ago. Tree Streets we made nearly 2 years ago. Like, so this is a 2-year album in the making, and it's really humbling to like put out a project that's like that fell together through this whole process. Like, it's a concept album. I set out to do, that was like my goal when I first started making music, was like I wanted to make music that I was inspired by, you know, like Mac Miller. Like, you got songs that reference songs inside the album.
Those albums,
ton of content, like this song references this song, and they're in different track lists, and the whole thing just is like sewn together so crazy. It's weird, man. Like, I made like one of my favorite albums.
You made it.
Yeah, and I made my own favorite album. It's
crazy. Fire, bro. Like, so like I've seen Adam. I remember when you were literally making beats on your fucking mom's couch on your cell phone. On your phone, bro. You were, and like, because we had another friend that had recently gotten into music production, and Adam has always been like my friend that is 100% balls to the wall into music. You got me into music, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like, you're sitting there, and I'll never forget you fucking around making a beat, and you were like, bro, this app is a piece of shit, and I already made a beat better. like, bro, you're sitting on the fucking couch, you're like, bro, like,
this shit sucks.
Yeah, bro, and like, it's just so cool seeing you go from literally that to putting together a project. I got to hear the project, not the final, but like, pretty close.
Pretty much the final mixes,
dude. Blew me away, speechless. Like, it's so cool to see your friend go from this transition, and you've put in work, man. Like, but you have like so much work, like so much dedication, so many sacrifices, so much time.
You heard the 10,000 hours thing. That shit's real, man. Like, I definitely haven't hit 10,000 hours, but I bet you I've put close. To 2,000. Yeah, 2 or 3, like.
And you're just getting started.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want to do is continue to do that too. So,
you're a success story. Like, no matter what, and like what I was trying to tell you that night is like, this album, bro, since it is so complete, and like, I love it. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, I've always been like, not critical, but like, I was like, yo, you gotta give me the heat, bro. Every song, I was like,
it's awesome.
Dude, oh my god! Like, I didn't have a single one that I was like, not skip, but like,
where you weren't at least like,
I was entertained the whole time. That's what a 10 out of 10 is. For me.
Or like an 11. I wanted to
that's
make.
What you made, bro.
Like
literally, bro. I was like, I'm not hitting the skip button, like, ever. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's
top to bottom. That's how
goal.
I feel like that's how an album should be designed. Is not a bunch of fill songs.
It's like a movie, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Supposed to be, you're like, it's a piece of art. It's not just like, it's not just background fill shit.
Yeah, like here's a bunch of songs that I made.
Yeah, artists, like Jeremiah describes it as like artists. Like, you are, or we are an artist group that artists appreciate because they're like, damn, these guys are actually pushing the boundaries. Like, we're trying to make a sound. Some of these songs, like, don't even structurally, there's no rhyme or reason to them. Some of them are just like, I threw these beats together because I don't know music theory, and they keep you entertained. They work. Like, it's awesome.
Well, the other thing that's really crazy is, like, I've, through the years, or just this time that you've been making music, heard these beats, heard these songs, not the final pieces, heard them, and like, no offense, but like never thought a single one was bad, but was like they're all over the place. You know?
like well, this one has nothing to do with this one.
So different,
like,
so different, and like then hearing it top to bottom together blew my mind, bro. I was like, what the fuck? Like all these songs that I was like, yeah, that's fire, but like that's nothing like what you were making 2 weeks ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you listen to it all together, I'm like, oh no, that's a project. So crazy. Like I don't know, man. I'm so
hyped for all of you guys to like sit down and finally be able to listen to the mastered tracks and just like zone in and listen to what these guys have to say, because not even like outside of my production, what these guys say and the rhymes, and I swear to God, it's one of those projects that you'll still catch lines 5 months after listening to it.
Mac Miller
and
album,
you'll be like, what the fuck did he just say? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, what, that rhyme?
And that's what I wanted.
You'll start putting it together, and you're just like, whoa, what the fuck?
It's just so cool. And like for me, the coolest process is seeing John, I guess not get started rapping, but like
find his own voice,
literally
man.
Listen to him find who he is in music. Like it's so crazy. Like hearing those first couple songs, and then like hearing him experiment, do some different shit, you know what I mean?
He's found it.
With all due respect, John, if you hear this, bro, a couple of times just like, what the fuck is he doing right there? Still good. I get the concept.
The same thought,
you know
bro.
what I mean?
Like,
and then
recording this shit, I'm like, dude, no, what are you doing?
He's finding himself, you know. And then all of a sudden, you fucking hear this project, and I'm like, bro. And like the song that you literally showed me just now. Right. I'm like, he's found it, dude. Like he's just there. He's in his zone now, and like John knows who John is on a track.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so fucking cool, bro. So fucking cool.
Yeah, it is hella fun. Especially now, I've had to learn the patience to like work with these guys, and sometimes it takes like an hour to an hour and a half just to get a verse done, and that's not even ad libs. That's not even like effects.
And that's not the final verse.
No, like I mean, potential. That's what I tell these guys too. Is like, if you guys don't want the final take to be your first time in the booth, then you gotta like take the initiative to go practice it and come back and like lay this shit down the way you want it. So there's some loose ends we gotta tie up a little bit more between the next project, which we're already planning. We already got a name for it. We're gonna do like, I think we already got like 6 songs like basically already made. Like close to finishing the songs, and then I can streamline the process of mixing and mastering this stuff now. At this point, like I know I finally know what I'm doing.
So obviously you love this and you're passionate about it. Have there been moments where you've felt like not fed up with it, but just like it's almost made you unappreciate music, or like where you get sick of it ever? Like do you ever just sit there and be like, dude, I don't want to fucking deal with music right now at all?
Yeah, I do definitely get tired of it.
Like you,
but that's only when I'm like
anybody would with anything.
But realistically, that's only when I'm like, I'm pushing myself further than I should.
Yeah,
it's where it's when I get to the point where I'm like burning myself out, and I want it so bad. I'm so motivated that I will go and I'll spend a 10-hour day in the studio, and then the next day go work my 9 to 5, and then go spend another 5 hours in the studio when I get done working, and just like completely burn myself out. Basically, that's like about the only time I get sick of it.
Yeah.
And then I get sick of my actual job, and I'm like cranky as shit. Like, yeah.
Crazy though, bro. Like I don't know. It's just I don't know how to express how cool it is to see you go through the process the last couple of years.
I appreciate all the eyes basically, because I do have I have a battle with myself a little bit, kind of. That's like, I want to be seen in a way, like I want people's attention and affirmation and whatnot, but at the same time,
going with this already.
At the same time, I don't want to put myself so far out there that everybody has a fucking spotlight on me.
Absolutely, and like that's the thing that's always fucked with me is like, I'm a very social person, you know. I really am.
You don't like to draw attention to yourself.
No, but I've always wanted some sort of I wanted recognition, you know, like. I think a lot of people do. A lot of people want to be recognized and like known, but like at the same time, like when you think about it, like I also really like my privacy, you know. And the biggest thing, part of why I started this podcast is because it scares the fuck out of me, dude. Like straight up, like putting myself out there
and being out and
terrifying.
like trying to be a public face. Yeah.
But I will tell you right now, ever since I started my media page, and I haven't done a whole lot with it.
Right.
There's stuff coming.
You're just doing shit to do shit.
Exactly.
Like,
but
engage with people. Like I see that.
Yeah, and doing this, dude, like it's incredible. I didn't expect it, but how much more free I feel. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
if it makes you feel better, then continue to do it.
I'm going to, and it's like I didn't expect that from this, or at least so soon. But like, literally, the first time I put the podcast out, the first one, I talk about my drug use. You know what I mean? I talk about having depression. I talk about anxiety a little bit. You know, just like some personal shit, and that's like, I made peace with myself when I first decided to do this. Like, people are either gonna fuck with me or they're not, you know. And for a long time in high school, not so much after as being an adult, just caring way too much about what people think, you know what I mean. And like I think it's a trap that a lot of people fall into.
A lot of people. I think that's a pretty common thing, because you just see it. Like I don't know, some people are more comfortable than others, I guess.
Totally.
I don't even, like, my Instagram page is dead because I don't want to post anything, because fucking I've made typos on my shit, and then I look at it and go,
that was stupid.
I already have 38 likes on it, I gotta leave it.
Like 38 people already read this shit, and then there's a lot of people that didn't like it.
Exactly. Like, I already look stupid, it's fine.
Damn
whatever.
Nah, dude, and that's also why I have my two accounts now. So I have my old personal one, and I went through and purged all my followers. If anyone isn't following me anymore, I'm sorry, but like I want to leave that one for the people that I want to see it.
That's your page.
That's
and then
my
the other one is going to be like for anybody who wants to fucking discover it. Like, that's all you.
Absolutely.
Kind of the same thing with mine.
Yep.
Like,
exactly.
I have a personal page.
I think
and
that's
then
what made
also
me want
Sherman.
to, like, just seeing the difference. You know, I think I saw that you were like just putting stuff out for music and that kind of shit, and I was like, that's kind of the lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like make a separate account and just do whatever you want on it. And if people follow you, people follow you. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't really matter at that point.
Well, I've also wanted to work on different projects. Like, I'm a creative person at heart, and like I want to create different stuff and dip in and out of different lanes, you know. And I think just social media is the way to do that now. It's not so much of like,
there is no other way, really.
No, there isn't.
There's no better way to collaborate or get seen by somebody who can set you up with the right opportunity. Like, and that's where I'm folding a lot too. Is like content, which
is hard. Like,
dude, that shit is folding if you're not just like recording everything you're doing. Like,
it's tough.
Who wants to fucking have a camera always on you all?
That's
all
where
the
I've
time.
Been struggling, dude. It's like literally. I have this pressure
pick
now.
My nose, and then all of a sudden it's forever. Like, everybody on the internet is like, "Sherm's the booger man, bro."
The booger man.
This man's fucking picking his nose and wiping it under his desk. What a sick ass motherfucker! Like,
bro,
oh my god, he scratched his ass on camera.
Crazy. I mean, like, I feel with doing stories. Editing. I do a lot of stories. Yeah, editing.
You gotta edit. You gotta edit all that shit. I was like,
and that's it. That takes time.
Just like gold mining.
You're just lazy one night. You know, you've had a couple beers and you're like, oh, you know,
submit it.
You look at that shit and you're like, God, yeah. There's like 40 minutes of you just like
straight gold digging.
You're just crying.
You're
just fucking crying.
It's like, why am I doing this?
Wild, man. Yeah, it's weird where the world is going with like social media and stuff.
Everything is the internet. Everything is.
But it's such a cool tool. You know what I mean? Like, it has its negatives with like people's insecurities and stuff like that. But like,
and lots of positives in the way that people can like connect in the way.
Well, even
that
for
they
those
do.
people now, it's easy to like see role models or like
people who have gone through similar situations, or
just like there was good and evil in the world before, there is now. But
right.
Like, one thing that's been a struggle for me is like with everyone getting so offended about different things. Like, there's groups for everything now.
The cancel culture.
Yeah,
basically is like it's like silencing people who have there's a moral race right now. It's like, I'm better than you are on the internet or whatever, you know, like I look better than you are, I do better things, I'm more moral than you kind of deal. There's like a moral race.
Well, here's the problem. I think the world has realized is now with social media, like our parents, they didn't know, obviously they had TV and shit like that, but they didn't know exactly what was going on over in fucking Thailand right here at this moment. You can find that out
right now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so we have so much access to all the horrible things that are happening in the world.
So we're desensitized to it.
100%. And people are having a hard time realizing the world is a fucked up place and we can't fix everything. Can we work towards that? 100%. But like...
So yeah, but then people just, I don't know. Everybody has their own opinion and is entitled to their own opinion.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, if I see something that I don't like, I just have the fucking thought to turn it off. Yeah. Like, oh, this account that I follow or this YouTube page that I follow doesn't post the kind of content that I want, this dude's fucked up. I think this dude's fucked up. I turn it off. I just like leave that dude alone. Like, I'm not going to attack him for being a fucked up person. Like, if I think he's fucked up. So that's where I think where people kind of miss the point is like, where's the line that you draw that what is truly bad and what is truly good?
Well,
like,
here's the problem.
What gets you canceled and what could like what's like borderline like, all right, that's, you should just turn it off. I
think people think of that line as being straight when it's not.
No. There's
like
so many exceptions, you know what I mean?
If you're saying, if you picture a line with categories and there's like a red side and a blue side, good and bad, instead of it being just a straight line down the middle,
that thing's gonna be curved as fuck.
It's fucked up. You know what I mean? So like,
so there's a lot of leeway either way on depending on. See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, why not have the forethought instead of like, oh, this person should be canceled. Like, I can't believe they would put this kind of content on the internet. Dude, just fucking ignore it and move on.
There's also a problem with patience and forgiveness. Like, we don't have a whole lot of it. People get so worked up about certain subjects, and then like education, I don't know, like, let's say someone has some sort of, I don't know how to explain it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
different upbringing,
kind of, like, you know what I mean? Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like it kind of has, educating it's people, environmental.
We're so focused on just making that person feel like shit for thinking something that we think is incorrect.
Educating,
instead of being like, dude, like, hey, this is why blah 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 is wrong. Obviously, it's a lot more complicated than that.
Yes.
But
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I feel like there's no forgiveness for people anymore, where you can be like you're put into a category and that's just where you'll always be because that's who you were at one point. You know?
Yeah, like people bringing up tweets from 5 years or 10 years ago.
Exactly,
and
you're like, dude,
you said this 10 years ago. You're like, okay,
obviously I'm not that person anymore.
10 years ago, would you have said some shit like that? Yeah, look at yourself.
Totally.
But also, I get
it's insensitive.
It is insensitive.
But
sure.
it's also, I feel what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like there's so many subjects where people aren't educated, or like there isn't the line to have some sort of forgiveness. You know what I mean? Like, if someone's like, there's no my bad, all right, cool, let's move on with it. It's like, nah, dude, you're that person forever. Yeah, you know? And it's like, nah,
exactly.
Dude, like, I can't change as a human being, like, at all.
Yeah, no, for real. You didn't grow as a human being 5 years ago. You were making these mistakes. Exactly. Like,
you know, and also like just maturity as a human being. You know, like when you're fucking 18, I am the 18-year-old that I was compared to the person I am now.
Dude, night and day.
Completely different people, bro. Like,
you're absolutely
I
right.
would not get along with that fuck boy.
Like, 25-year-old me and 18-year-old me would not be cool.
Exactly. And like, I think we just need to have like more of a respect for those kind of boundaries for people, you know?
True. Especially because like the point I'm trying to make is it's our right. We should be able to say I guess they're taking our right. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like there's a weird battle for the right to be able to say what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
But
like
it has
whether
to be
it has to,
it
has to fit within this category.
It has to fit.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't say what
they're restricting.
You can say whatever you want, but not really.
Yeah, exactly. It's what I've seen. I haven't done the research, so don't quote me.
Mm-hmm.
This shit's called fascism.
Yeah.
Basically, where they're just like kind of controlling your rights in a way. I don't know. I haven't done any research on fascism.
No, totally. Neither have I.
Don't quote me on that. I ain't an expert. People listening. I don't know about fascism. I'm going to do some research, though. Trust me.
But people should be able to fucking speak.
You should be able to say what you want, man. Like, even if that is completely grotesque and offensive, bro, it should be able to... Unfortunately, you should be able to say what you want. But the cancel culture... the political correctness, this whole movement of morality. I am more moral than you are. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Ooh, you hit the nail on the fucking head.
That's what I was trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a race for morality on the internet. It's like, well, at least I'm not doing what fucking
so-and-so's doing.
Yeah.
Well, I think
what
it's
he's
because...
he's doing, like...
Well, I just thought about this. So, like... And just like that, the fucking thoughts. Like,
yeah, it always happens.
You know what I mean? But... especially with me. That
is also very true.
Yeah, very true. Most distracted person this side of the Mississippi, bro.
I'm gonna get like a 2.5 milligram Adderall
Dude, but it does nothing.
2.5 milligrams just to have it in your system.
Nothing. I took 3 30 milligram one time when we went snowboarding, and you want to know what happened?
Nothing. Adderall does not affect you at all.
Nothing, dude. Literally, they were like, they all took one, and we're like
geeked.
I'm zooted right now, and I was like, yeah.
I'm on 90 milligrams of this shit. It's just
nothing
running through my blood.
I was like, I'm just not hungry.
That sucks so bad.
It is, dude, and I don't know. And that's also one thing that makes me... There's so many people that get Adderall prescriptions and shit like that now, and they're like, oh, I have ADD. I'm like, bro, until you have met me and you know me, you understand actual fucking ADD.
Yeah.
Like
literally, I could look at the wall, think about the paint on the wall, halfway through a conversation, completely forget we were even talking about.
Dude, what were we talking about? I wasn't there. And even Carly sometimes, she'll be talking to me, and I'll hear her and I'll respond. We'll have a conversation, and then she'll say something. I'm like, huh? What were we talking about?
Sorry, you interjected, and then it
literally all of a sudden I was like, oh, well, I was actually thinking about fucking truck parts, and we had a full conversation about something else, and I wasn't there.
Right, no kidding.
But that's just who I am, and it comes out that way so easily.
Yeah. So, do we want to go back to that topic then?
Which one?
We were talking about PC culture, cancel culture.
Oh, yeah.
You had a thought, and then you lost the thought.
I'm not going to get back to that.
And then we had the ADD.
Thought.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought. So that's why I asked. I was like, so are we going to go back to this subject? Or...
No, it's...
There's our 2 cents on PC culture, people. Welcome to people who have right and left brains.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Thank you, God. You know what I mean? And there's one way I want to go. Fuck political parties, bro. The fact that we literally go through a civil war every 4 fucking years,
so divided as a country.
But it's designed to be that way. I'm like, why the fuck do you have to be one way or the other? There's no middle ground. I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I am a person, and I think I got
opinions about both sides. Some people doing stupid shit. Some people doing I don't know.
Think every human being has some sort of truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everybody
they have
has
reasons,
their own truth.
Exactly. Of thinking the way that they do. Mm-hmm. There aren't people on either side that are just fucking completely wrong about their entire life. That's unrealistic. You know what I mean? And that's also what I was saying is people come from different backgrounds. You don't know exactly what I went through when I was raised. I don't know how someone that was raised in fucking Tunisia, what they went through, you know what I mean? Different culture, you know what I mean? I don't
refugees,
get it.
People that fucking had to leave their country to come here, and they're not technically legal beings and stuff. I work with a couple of them.
Yeah.
Refugee, being a refugee, putting myself in one of their places.
I know nothing about that world.
Is so hard for me to do. Because I'm like, dude, these guys don't even speak English, most of them, and they're fucking working their asses off 10 hours a day just to make ends meet. Like, keep the lights on. That shit's fucking crazy.
And then they're getting their people here.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
And it's not cheap.
And it's $10,000 a head.
It's not cheap.
Just to get them to the country. Like, even a visa's not, like, yeah, I don't know. I talked to one of the ones that speaks English pretty well. He's, like, right around our age. He's, like, one of the hardest working kids I've ever met in my life, and he's so cool. Like, super chill. Love to talk to him. Makes me feel really bad, though, especially when he tells me stories like that. He's like, yeah, it cost me, like, yeah, my family and I working super hard. My wife, she got the stimulus check. I don't get a stimulus check. I'm not legal here, so I don't get a stimulus check. Like, so, you know.
So tough, man.
And it costs $10,000 a head for his family to be here. He just got his grandparents here on a visa. Both his grandparents hasn't seen him in 2 years because they live in El Salvador. And then he just got them a visa for 2 months to come visit.
So crazy.
But he's still going to be working 5 days a week, 10 hours a day, so he can only see him 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days a week. Like.
And after he's off.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, what kind of time is that, you know?
Dude, yeah, he works 10 to 10, bro. Like, literally works 12-hour days. I'm not kidding you. He works 10 to 10.
It's just a different world, you know? And
yeah.
Like, I think, well, that's another thing that people don't recognize is just, like, my parents, for example, like, they talk about inner city stuff, the way that I was raised. Like, they don't understand, like, with the Black Lives Matter movement and all that stuff, they don't understand what it's like, and neither do I, to be a freaking black kid growing up in Georgia.
In the projects.
Like, you know, in the projects, like, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that struggle
whatsoever
is. You know what I mean?
You can kind of empathize with it only because you listen to
music
artists that have lived through those situations and they're expressing the way that they've seen and lived. That's how you can empathize with it. And our parents have never listened hard enough to rap, so they have no idea what that whole world is like. My dad's the same way. My dad's like, what's with the Black Lives Matter movement, all lives matter, all this stuff. I'm like, dude, it's
a different world that they're living in.
What you need to understand is there's a whole nother side of this that you, like, quote unquote, like, yes, all lives matter.
No fucking shit,
no fucking
bro,
shit,
obviously.
Dad, black people are getting killed in the street right now, excessively, so that's why Black Lives Matter right at this moment.
Yeah. Well, here's
because they're trying to make a change for that particular thing.
I think it gets a little dicey when, like, we have a police problem. Plain and simple. Like, racism is a problem on its own.
And then also
it gets into the police situation. But the police problem is for everyone, dude. Like, obviously, because of racism, more black people get killed by police. But police brutality is a thing for all races. It's police abusing their power is a problem for all races.
They also don't even, like...
The system is a problem for all races, you know?
They don't need guns, man.
No.
Like, if you need a gun in the situation, you should be sending in trained operatives to those situations.
Totally.
Like, dispatch, you should have...
Dudes waiting.
Yeah, there should be a separate task force. There's your plain and simple, and I'm sure I already know. I don't know much about the cop system as it is, but the way that I understand it is, or the way that I understand that it should be, I guess, is the way that you have regular old traffic cops, right? You don't need a gun as a traffic cop, man.
They do fine in Europe.
Like,
they have a knife problem, but like they also
you pull somebody over. Yes, you can be in danger for your life.
Yeah, and I get that too. You have to realize that is a fucking thing too.
That is
cops
a thing.
Get shot too.
Yeah,
like,
cops
people
get killed
too,
all the time. So that's another one of those lines that's super curved. There's not a straight line. There's nothing that you can do that's like clear cut. Like, you can do this. Like, even the point that I was just trying to make has now been curved in the way that I'm trying to say, like, all cops shouldn't have guns.
Yeah.
But in this case, now the curve starts. Okay, yeah, but what if the fucking guy he pulls over has a gun? Like, traffic cops could get shot easily.
It's tough,
how
bro.
is there a right answer to that, man?
I don't know.
Like, there's
I don't know.
and
I think forever you're gonna have issues with that.
Right.
You know, if all cops run armed, people will get away. Especially with how culture already is. A lot of people that are fucking killing cops.
And I'm not even saying all cops.
No.
I'm saying like
totally.
traffic cops.
Yeah.
But like
who's to stop them from getting shot in some sort of situation?
Or
you know what
even
I mean?
if you like have to send in a special unit, like how long does it take to dispatch a special unit to a certain area where there's gunfire and shit?
That's what I was also trying to say is like people want to solve these issues, which maybe we can. It's going to take some time, but they want them solved right now. And it's like, dude, there's a lot of fucking
there's
like
shit
you
to
said, figure out.
Yeah,
like
there's not just a straight line. There's not a clear-cut way to finish it. There's a lot of twists and bends.
And it's always changing because people are changing. You know what I mean? So
there's like an infinite twist and bend in it that you could probably find solutions to some minor things, but things are still...
I think...
Even if you find solutions, things are still going to happen. Cops are going to get killed. People are going to get killed. It's the nature of the beast.
Yep.
There you go. Like, that's all that can be said, really. It's whack, man.
So crazy.
Trying to find solutions as... Especially now that, like, as the population grows, too... Trying to get along, and now that we've diversified so far, there's even a larger spectrum of belief system and whatnot. Like,
well, another thing is like a lot of people are turning against Christianity and kind of blaming them, and there's got to be a little wiggle room there too. Like it's starting to get weird for the people. Like Christianity is like or like just like thinking of God as like a. It's like any other religion, man. You know what I mean? You have to respect it.
Allah, Mormonism.
Yeah. The problem is that those people don't have respect for other values sometimes. You know what I mean?
True.
But you still can't... You're not a horrible person just because you believe in that. You know what I mean? So, like, there's got to be some sort of respect there. It's just... There's so much gray area. And, like, what I was trying to say earlier is, like... There's so many problems that the world is aware of now...
Because of the internet.
And you see one thing, we've all seen something on the internet that gets that fiery passion in your
like,
gut.
How could this even be on
dude.
Yeah.
And you get so angry, so passionate, and you're like, everyone's felt that feeling. And you want to do something about it. And I get that. And I want to do stuff for those problems as well. But, like, we need to have more patience and solve them as a group together instead of like picking sides and like making it so
blown up
and so like I don't want to say the word violent, but just like it's so intense, you know, like
very large group or very large attacks being sent on people that make
crazy
like small mistakes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
wow.
It's whack, man.
But what can you do?
Yeah.
You know, I think the huge thing for us, especially, like, the people that are in government positions now are, and I don't have a stat for this either, but, like, usually probably 35 to 65 years old, but most of them are going to be older and have been in that system and have a different way of thinking. Like, they aren't used to the information that our generation is able to process.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, they can't handle shit the way we do.
Unless they're exposed and brought up to date by the proper...
But for 40 plus years, they've been stuck in one way, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they get this access to information and, like my family, these algorithms, dude, you fucking get into certain subjects and that's all it's going to feed you.
Mm-hmm.
It intensifies and just feeds you whatever you want to fucking look at. You know what I mean? So, like, it's crazy. Like, and I think we talked about it on the last podcast with Marcel, but, like, the whole voting system, for one, makes me feel weird because I don't trust it whatsoever. But who in the fuck doesn't think that both sides haven't been fucking with that sort of, you know, cheating in some sort of way
for thousands of years?
The whole fucking time, dude. Are you, like, there's no way.
Thousands of years, excuse me.
Literally.
If the system's only 200 years
old. But like, even in other voting systems, you know what I mean? Like, there have been people rigging that shit since day one. And if you don't think both sides, or all sides for that matter, have been doing schemy fucking bullshit to fucking win those things,
you're delusional.
Absolutely. Like, there's no, they're doing it, we're not.
Lots of finger pointing and fucking...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with Biden being our president, dude, like, he's our president now. If you don't want that guy to succeed, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
he is our president.
Yeah,
like
that's the dude you want to succeed.
If you don't want him to succeed, that makes zero sense. That's
because the country's just gonna fuck up.
Exactly my point. So hop on the fucking bandwagon, figure it the fuck out, whichever side you were on, and like, we got 4 years until the next one.
I just figure the shit's out of my control, so I just don't even pay attention to it.
Absolutely. I really don't either. Yeah. But, you know, there's also the moral obligation.
Your citizen duty to, like, actually care.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of people that also... Oh, here's the point that I was going to make earlier. There's a lot of insecure people that find solace... or no, I don't even know.
Solidarity.
Yeah, and peace in being better than other people in any way they can. Right. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so, like,
I know who you're talking. I know what you're talking about.
They don't know
the
themselves enough so like they find out about these things and they get so into them.
I would never do something like that. I can't believe this thing even exists.
It makes them feel better about
it gives them I saw a funny meme from Scott. And the meme is like, I'm done with this ego, and the platform hits an ego, and then it's a face plant onto the spiritual ego. I'm done with, I've finished my ego.
And just like
spiritual ego.
That is awesome.
Yeah, there's levels to it though. There really is. Man. There's levels to the ego as well.
At the end of the day, for me, obviously, these are very obvious things to say. Try and be a good person, you know, to the best of your abilities.
Yeah, be polite.
Be polite. Keep an open mind.
And don't
and
judge.
Teach your kids. You know what I mean? Like, if you're that passionate, generations, like, that's what I'm trying to say is things take time. So
it's generational. So what our generation teaches the next generation will make that change.
But
basically.
What does that take? Time.
Lots of time and lots of effort. Like, damn.
Like, well,
it's the dedication he's talking about. The 10,000 hours that I've put, quote unquote, put into the studio. It's like on top of whatever else you got going on in your head, you also have to think about this shit now too.
Yeah.
It's like it all takes practice. It all is repetition. Like.
Well, like I was trying to say, like the people that are our parents' age to like 40 to 65 is usually our politicians, the people in our government. So until our generation moves into that spectrum,
it's not really going to be changed.
It's not going to change because most of those ages are so stuck in their ways and don't have access to this.
Some of them are even over 65.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some like 70,
which is kind of ridiculous, dude.
There's some 70-year-old fucking politician or like people sitting in the House and the Senate and stuff, and you're like, dude. You old. Why
you fucking old,
we need a 35-year-old man in there. Somebody who knows what's going on.
Who's also excited. You know,
somebody
and not
who
tired.
knows what's going on and not trying to make a bunch of...
And I'm not saying that those people...
You've been in it for 35 years, man.
Yeah.
It's time to retire. Get this man out of here.
But they make so much money.
I know.
Once you're in those positions, for one, you're in a position of power, so you feel relevant. And then, also, it's comfy.
Yeah.
You're sitting there, you're getting a government check constantly,
and you're like 2 full months off of the year.
Doing great. I ain't changing.
Yeah, you get like a full 2 months off every year.
So crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, I agree that I have considered politics in the past when I was deciding on what I really wanted to do.
Totally.
But I also decided that would take way too much effort and way too much of my time to try to make a change.
Well, here's the other thing is like...
The thing that I'm going to do is do me, and I know that's selfish, but...
Well, the real people aren't going to win.
Fuck else am I supposed to do? Yeah. Dude, just do you. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to even say what's right anymore because of the curve. Like, what I think's right, you may not think's right. Like,
I know, but we have such a horrible, like, pride situation, like, as people. Like, admitting you're wrong, the power of admitting that you are wrong and, like, taking an L.
Yeah.
To be able to do that.
It's hard for people to do.
It's so hard, but it's one of the most useful skills you can ever develop is to be able to be like,
you know what? I fucked up, man.
My bad.
Yeah.
You know, I own it. Because you have to reflect on yourself and realize, damn, I fucked up. And some people can't sit with that. But you got to learn how, you know? Like, that's the biggest thing is I feel like people just let their pride get ahead of them instead of looking at the bigger picture. And everyone's so focused on wanting to be right and not be wrong. Like, it's okay to be fucking wrong.
The short-term serotonin is way more valuable or way more sought after. Let me say that. The short-term serotonin is way more sought after than the full knowledge of self and knowing like, yeah, I fucked up. I did this wrong. I'm owning it. Like, I'm gonna be better and making yourself better. People don't even get. From what we've discussed before, people don't even give you a chance to do that even more sometimes. Like,
not at all.
It's like, bro, you fucked up. You're gross. Like, that's it.
And like, dude, I can't
like,
change.
I can't even,
I can't.
Don't even have an opportunity to, like, prove myself. Like, yeah. Who are we to say that there's a line? Who is anybody to say that there's a line?
Yes.
We're all here. We're all doing our thing. Like, we got to learn how to live together.
Well, people make mistakes.
Easier said than done, because there are some people that are spiteful and just want and just don't care or have the empathy for somebody else. Like, I don't know.
And something else that people struggle with is just making peace with the fact that there's always going to be evil. Like, a utopia is never going to happen. No. There's no fucking way. It's not possible.
Never. There's
we can do our best to, you know,
make it as comfortable as everybody else.
Totally.
Make it for as comfortable for everybody else as we can. But even then, like, interesting song. I'll show you a guy when we're off this song. Yeah. But shout out Marlon Craft. Marlon Craft has a good ass song where I'll have to look up the name of the song. I don't remember the name of the song, but basically he says something along the lines of, basically he hates all this bad stuff. Yeah. Like cultural appropriation, but he loves sushi burritos. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I hate cultural appropriation, but I love sushi burritos. Like, see, you know, like, everybody's torn in half by this. There's no solid line. I think that's probably the name of this project should be called. Or this podcast should be called Music and Straight Lines.
Music and Straight Lines.
Or Music and Blurred Lines or something.
Blurred Lines.
Yeah, you could do something like that.
Crazy, bro. And
on that note, should probably also wrap it up.
I'm there.
Yeah, I think we're
absolutely.
Good. I'm gonna do one last shout out before this comes out, because everybody's got to go download.
Do the plug.
And everybody's got to go save, pre-save, buy. Do something with it, man. Show your friend. I want everybody to hear Ashes to Ashes. This is a local Boise project. Some hip-hop that's never been heard before out of anywhere else. Like, it's what I'm here for. I'm here for the music plug and nothing else. And I guess I'm here and talk my
No, but for real, I've heard the project too, and it's just so cool to see you go through the process and, like, literally make a complete project. You know what I mean? So. Right. Yeah, go check out Ashes to Ashes on the 26th, right?
Yeah, March 26th, 2021. L8, the number 8 Bloomer. BLOOMER, late bloomer.
And I'll be throwing it on my social media and stuff like that, so when it comes out, everybody's going to see it, so just be checking on that. But yeah, man, thank you very much for coming in.
Absolutely, man.
Such a good time. Thanks, guys.
Yep, see ya.